They have spent most of their adult lives away from home. 30-year-old Akim fled Sudan before he was a teenager. Kenya has been his home for the last 18 years. Jacob Nyal has lived in Kenya since 1992, while 39-year-old Abraham Kaur left Sudan in the 80s and is yet to return.
I don't know what I can compare how the Kenya people did to us. They host us for many years.
Each of them found a safe haven in Nairobi's Zimwan estate. Here they have settled down, made friends, built lives, learnt the national language. But if home is where the heart is, then only Southern Sudan can really fulfill the longing for home.
Kila mmoja wetu hapo Kenya tunataka tukiwa na nchi yetu.
Always conscious that though they are accepted here, this is not home.
I was a refugee here in Kenya. And refugees are not allowed to get a citizenship in Kenya.
These are just a few faces of the over 75,000 Southern Sudanese refugees who found their way to Kakuma, Dadaab and other refugee camps. Hundreds of lost boys who fled across the border after being orphaned or separated from their families later found their ways to the United States. Records kept by the United Nations High Commission for Refugees show that even with a section of Southern Sudanese refugees repatriated, over 30,000 still remain scattered across the country. Apart from the 1.7 million who remain displaced within Sudan's borders, there are around 368,000 Sudanese living outside the country. They are exiled as a result of the civil war and, more recently, the violence in Darfur. Yet decades after they left, the referendum and the possibility of a fresh beginning is drawing those from Southern Sudan back. Until the signing of the Comprehensive Peace Agreement in 2005, Peter Ajuma Abbas lived in Kenya with Ochieng, a friend and a father figure he met while living at Zimmerman. He left for the United States, but even after failing to meet the voter registration deadline for the referendum, he has returned and plans to travel to Juba ahead of the January 9th referendum to be part of the historic divorce from the north.
I have been away for like 23 years, since 1987. Left my parents, I had never seen them.
Abbas, who initially enrolled in school simply to attain skills and secure a job, now says his reasons for struggling to advance his education are more noble.
I am willing to come back and help Southern Sudan as I'm an indigenous Sudanese, because I feel like I can come with all the ideas, experience that I have got in the United States.
Each of these Southerners confident about the outcome of the referendum.
I'm not seeing we going for unity, because unity is going back to what we were been fighting for.
Being a child and you left at the age of 10 years, you left your father and your mother and you don't know where they are. And you spent 24 years all in the bush. It is something painful. It is even better you have to vote for separation so that you exercise your right.
The referendum on whether the oil-rich South should separate or remain united with the North is part of the 2005 peace accord that ended the nation's 22-year civil war. Observers say the South will probably secede and become a separate sovereign nation. Decades of armed conflict between the mostly Muslim North and the Christian South left an estimated 2 million people dead and 4 million displaced. Yet among the Sudanese in exile, the mood wavers from joy that secession is imminent to fear that violence could thwart the vote or that the outcome could spark off fresh fighting.
Unity is one of the things that will not make me to go back. But it may not cause war, because we are not willing to go to war. We are willing to have peace for all Sudanese, either from the north or from the south.
With only hours left to the polls, the Southern Sudanese continue to stream into Kenya. 15,000 are expected to vote at 8 centers across Kenya. Each of those who have sought refuge elsewhere holding their breaths that this may finally be an opportunity to go home and put the pieces back together. But after years of dashed hopes, nothing, only cautious dreams. Wilkis Anyabwa, KTN.